There are many different ways of applying acrylics. I'm just going to show you one or two examples. I'm going to start with a sponge. This is a natural sponge. Right, I'm going to pick up some green. This is some hooker's green, a bit of olive green. I've already wet the sponge, but not too much. And you simply stipple like this. You can get lovely textures like that. Or you can dab like this for some grasses, or flick up. And it's great for doing foliage, for trees. So we just mix up some hooker's green, burnt umber, for the tree trunk, and just paint in a few branches. Some shade underneath. There you are, a natural sponge. An interesting device for applying paint is this cunning little thing called a speckling brush, and it's like an old-fashioned bottle cleaner with a piece of wood with a spike sticking out. Load the brush with colour, so just paint on some acrylic, water it down. So push the spike into the brush and you turn the handle and it flicks the paint onto the paper. You get this lovely speckly effect. Fabulous for buildings, but brilliant for shingle beaches. This is a very good example of how to use the speckling brush. Another way of applying acrylic is with a toothbrush. So we can mix some colour up, put the paint onto the brush, and then you just, with your thumb, draw your thumb over the bristles and flick the paint onto the paper. Again, ideal for beaches and speckles on textured walls. Another way of applying acrylics is with a decorator's roller. If you're looking for something a little bit more contemporary, just load the brush with acrylic. This is some ultramarine, and so we just have a darker patch here. Turn the brush around. So this is a very, very simple way of applying paint and get some lovely effects. And of course, rollers are very, very cheap from your local DIY store. This is a painting I've mostly painted with a roller, but I'm adding some detail using just a piece of mount card, and just pick up some colour onto the edge of the mount card. This is some white, and to paint the marks in, you just carefully stamp the card onto the paper, onto the canvas, like that. A couple of marks in there. So it gives you a lovely sort of random, ragged, straight edge. This painting is almost finished. It needs a little bit of distance in the background. So all the foreground is finished off, but I'm just going to show you how you can add some distance to a painting. I'm going to use the medium detail brush, and I'm going to start with the horizon, but this is going to be a very, very pale blue. So I'm going to use some cobalt blue just on its own, a touch of white, make it a little bit lighter, and just run that along the far distance like that. Just keep it straight. A little bit darker. Just bring another line across. So these lines are running pretty much parallel with each other. So it's taking up a very, very small part of the painting. So if I put my brush there, you can see it's hardly any distance at all. Bring that forward a bit. So this will just give me an idea where the fields, or the patchwork of fields, are going to go. Another field in here. Just draw those in. Okay, so these larger fields are coming closer to us, so we have a vague idea of where the hedgerows are, and then with some white, touch of blue and a little bit of yellow ochre, start to add some colour to the fields, so a little bit more yellow ochre. Make that just a little bit stronger. Bring that forward. Some olive green with some blue. So blue is a major part of this process of adding depth to a painting. Things that are bluish in colour look as if they're further away. So not too strong. Just put that field in there. Lighter colour, some white. Just put that in just to break that up so it's not a solid mass. Some more yellow ochre. Some cadmium yellow, quite a bright colour this. I can go into there. Feed that into the hedgerow. Some more blue. So divide this large field here into two. So change the colour slightly. Some raw sienna and some white. Right, it's looking a little bit too dark and solid, so lighten that with some white paint. Just soften that a little bit by just dragging the brush over the surface. So blue, cobalt blue with some olive green. And along the hedgerows, just touch that darker colour along that. So there's the hedge, some trees, another hedgerow there. And just put the small detail in. Some more blue, some more white. Soften that. Now for the hedgerows closer to us, I'm going to use a slightly different technique. And then we let this dry off